Hello and welcome to Bead Time TV. I'm Gemma French and today we're going to be working on a bookmark. We have many different styles of bookmarks at Bead Time. This particular one is an embossed design on a gold bookmark. We've got silver wiggly bookmarks and also some floral design bookmarks as well. So firstly you need to choose what base you want to work with, and the next stage is quite creative in that you can choose to add in chain, you can add in beads, you can add in charms, anything really that you've got. So it's a very good project to do if you've got lots of bits and pieces left over from another project, or if you just want to do something quite fun and creative. So what we're going to do is I'm firstly going to create a few clustered charms. So that's going to be involved by using the head pin. So again, the long head pin for creating the loops above the beads. And really you can put any mixture of beads on here. So I'm going to intersperse things like my spacers. So I'm going to place on here a Heishi spacer, followed by a number of the beads here. So you can really stack up any design that you like. Place your beads on the design. And when you've chosen your row of beads, you're going to only need a single loop on the end of this. So what we'll do is we'll cut off the surplus head pin. So to do that you need your cutting ply here. Position your head pin so that you can see a centimetre exposed above the bead here. Position your cutter and snip the remaining off. Now when you've done that, what you'll need to do is turn a single loop. So now you take your round nose plier, place your palm facing upwards and grip about a centimetre along the plier tip, so you've got all of that centimetre exposed at the end there. Bend the head pin at a 90-degree angle to the top bead there, which means that as you then rotate your single loop back on itself, it's going to rotate to the top of the bead and be a very comfortable fit at the top and a fully rounded little shape at the top there as well. So we're going to repeat that technique with a couple of the beads here, and then we'll be ready to intersperse them with charms and other bits and pieces. So once you've completed an assortment of your little charms that you've chosen to make, you're going to then position them onto the chain. So I've selected a small chain link here and cut it into a few different size sections. And the sections will really depend on the length that you want hanging down from your bookmark. So this first one I would say is about 1 inch long. And I've opened up the chain, so I've just removed that inch from the whole length. So to reattach the charms at the base of this, what you'll need to do is position your chain nose plier to the right hand side of the split on the chain. Take your flat nose plier and hold that loop. So what you'll be doing is actually opening this in the very same way as you do a jump ring. So pushing one hand forward, that opens the loop without damaging the rounded shape of the curved chain. Thread on one of your charms that you've created and just close that back up again. You've also got the option, I've done this with a couple of them, of actually attaching your beads midway through the chain as well. So this is going to create a more clustered effect when you hang them from the actual bag charm. So we have this effect here. So I'm going to do that with one of my existing ones here as well. So take the chain that you have, and this time you're going to place on a oval jump ring. And that oval jump ring is going to be opened, positioned wherever you want the charm to hang. Thread your charm on and then close it back up again. Now you can do the same with charms as well. So if you've got existing charms here that actually have a loop above them already, take one of your jump rings that you've pre-opened and slot that through in exactly the same way. So I'm using an oval jump ring again, positioning that on the chain, threading through and then closing that up with my pliers. So there we have a couple of little options of hanging charm sections, and the way we're going to hang them from the bag charm means that they'll cluster up on the actual design itself. Now I've got a little detail here that I'm going to add, that's a little wing charm, and I'm just going to need to put a jump ring at the top of this, and that's going to allow the charm to swing nicely. If you just threaded it straight through, it's going to hang quite stiffly, so that's going to give it a better look when we actually put the whole thing together. So taking all of your components that you've already designed, you're then going to need to use a large split ring like this. So the split ring itself is what you hang directly between the two things. So you've got it going straight onto your bookmark. So I'm going to take my chain nose plier for this, find the edge of the split ring so you can see the opening for it, and slot the plier in the centre so that it opens it up nice and wide. Keep a firm grip in your right hand and place that directly through the end of your bookmark. Use your pliers then to move that around, so that's like putting on a key ring fob. Next we're going to then allocate where we want our charms to hang, so really this is completely up to you in terms of your design. You open it up in exactly the same way, pushing your plier through, and then take your charms that you've created and slot them on one by one. Now equally, if you find the split ring method hard, what you can do is open up the chain link and put that directly on, so I'll just show you how to do that. So that's slotting onto the split ring. Opening up the chain link, you just find your gap again, hold with the two pliers, twist that open, and you can slot that directly through your split ring to close. A further method you can use is your oval jump ring. So your oval jump ring that's pre-attached to your charm here. Once again, find the split in that, open up with your two pliers, and make sure you position the charm so it's facing front ways on. So slot that around. It'll be quite a snug fit with a small jump ring, so you could use a larger jump ring if you wanted to as well. But close that one up, and you've got that positioned on there. So I'm just going to attach the final few. So there we have a finished bag charm.